Gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Men of Bronze podcast. I am your host and the founder of this show, Stephen Lopes. If this is your first time joining us for an episode, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I hope you gain something of value here, and I hope you get something that you can apply to your daily life and become a better man. If you're a return listener, I want to thank you for your continued support. It's men like you who drive me to have these awesome conversations with other men and bring them to you via podcast and on YouTube. My guest today is the former #1 world-ranked boxer, Syd Vanderpool from Canada. In this episode, we talk about some awesome concepts and some awesome topics. For example, we talk about how at 19 years old, he was just a kid, but he went to the United States of America to chase his dream of becoming a pro boxer. We talk about the importance of mentors and coaches in your life, what an overnight success really is, and the work behind the scenes that it takes. We talk about keeping a healthy marriage, how his faith has helped him in that. And we talk about the importance of teaching your children responsibility and how important it is for them to be individuals and their role in the family. This is a great conversation, guys. Syd is an awesome guy with a great sense of humor. He's a business owner. He's an elite coach, and this guy is the real deal. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. Before we jump into it, I want to ask you to subscribe to the podcast, whether that's on your podcast app or on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, click the bell as well so you get the notification every week for when these conversations come out. Comment on the video and let me know, guys, and reach out to me on Instagram at StephenLopes_MOB. All the links in the show notes below or on your podcast app in the show notes there as well. So, guys, connect with me. I love hearing from you guys on Instagram and in the comments on YouTube. So reach out to me anytime, guys, and I promise you I'll do my best to get back to you. So, guys, this episode is awesome. I'm so excited to bring this one to you. So without further ado, here is Syd Vanderpool, the former #1 world-ranked boxer from Canada. Enjoy it, guys. How are things?
Things are. I mean, I can't complain. Really, honestly, making the best of things, and yeah, it's been good, man.
Are you guys able to get back and have people train and stuff now, or did that slow down? Was that full stop for you guys for a bit?
It was full stop for 3 months, and we just got back to it last week, middle of last week.
Yeah, it's hard on gyms and stuff, man.
Yeah. Like, and we got in under because we have athletes. But like gyms, that's phase 3. Like that's still a ways off.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you're able to get in because you have the athlete or whatever. You've got a different title. It's more important or whatever than the average Joe Schmo.
Exactly.
How many fighters are you training at once usually that are fighting at a high level?
Usually no more than like 2, like at once. Like I'll have like I have one girl that's an Olympian, and then I have a national team member. I train them together because they push each other, right? So it works out well, you know. But yeah.
So right now you've got 2 female fighters. Those are your main 2 right now.
Those are my 2 main. Yeah, that's a lot of focus there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And what's the training regimen for someone like that, for a woman's Olympian?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on where she is in terms of where her fights are going to be. So, I mean, like right now would be like, I mean, Olympics was going to happen like July.
Yeah.
So we've had to revamp everything, and now we've got, now it's another 1-year training cycle that we're ramping up for. So it's
that's brutal, isn't it?
It is, especially with her because, I mean, she just left the gym like 4 hours ago. For her, she's 32. She got married. Her daughter is just a little over 1 years old. Like this was her. Like this was it. Like, she talked to her like this was gonna be it. Now she got to go and renegotiate. All right.
Yeah, for another year at least.
Yeah, the year.
Yeah, that's tough, man, especially with a young family, right? But good for her to be, to have a kid and then get right back in the gym and training at an Olympic level. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah.
So you yourself said you were the former #1 world champ. Tell me about that. What weight class? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, so I was ranked number 1 in the world. I mean, when I represented Canada on a national level, and at the Olympics, the Olympic trials, I finished second at the Olympic trials, and I was 19 years old. So I was like, okay, am I going to wait around for another 4 years? Go for the gold medal, or do I want to go for gold Mercedes? And I'm like, yo, I want a gold Mercedes. I'm going to turn pro. So, that was it. Turned pro and went to the U.S. and started my training there. My idol growing up was Marvelous Marvin Hagler, so I went where he went, Brockton, Massachusetts, and that was quite a. I mean, 19 years old. I mean, looking back now, I mean, I have a 19-year-old daughter, and that was crazy. That when you're in the pursuit of a dream, you don't really take into consideration everything that could happen, and you just think, yo, I got one thing I'm focusing on, but man, like Brockton, Massachusetts, at that time, they were accepting welfare cases from any other state. So other states were shipping their welfare cases there, and we have a high propensity or high concentration of welfare. Usually, there's some crime there, and
some.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything like that in my life. Like blood stains on the sidewalk, and just it was crazy. But I had a goal, I had a mission, and that's where I started my career.
Man,
and,
especially coming from Canada, like going to a big city in the States that's like full of crime, that would have been wild.
It was, and I started off walking to the gym, and my coach, I think he realized how scared I was. He ended up starting to pick me up, and
He's like, this kid's gonna get hurt, or he's gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah. Well, because
someone's gonna cross his path, and they're gonna get knocked right out.
Right. You're right, and there's a certain walk, there's a certain mentality, there's a certain aura that you need to give off in order to, I was feeling like, oh, this guy here, we can tell he's not from here. So I had to learn that. I was new in a new environment, so it was definitely a life-changing experience. That changed me, but that was the starting point of my pro career.
Yeah. What did the climb look like? Like, so you're a 19-year-old kid. Like, I know nothing about this kind of stuff. Like, you're a 19-year-old kid. You're dropped in this city that's, the Wild West, and you're like, I want to be a pro boxer. How did you find an agent? How did you find a trainer? Where'd you get your first fight? What was that whole thing? What's that all about?
Yeah. Good questions. So back in the day, we had these things called videotapes.
Yeah.
So,
you're sending VHS through the mail.
That's what we were doing. We sent letters of VHS through the mail. We looked at all the top promoters and managers, and we sent them videos, and we got some good feedback. And of course, like I said, when I got the feedback from Brockton, Massachusetts, they wanted me to come there. So my brother and I, we got in his car and we drove, the 8.5 hours to Brockton, and basically it was an audition. We get there, we had a quick chat, and they're like, are you going to spar? And there's another kid there who was kind of looking to also have, they're called the Petronelli brothers, the Woody Petronelli. I mean, they handled Marvin Hagler for his whole career. So, I'm like, all right. So I lace up and I get in the ring. Actually, no, there's two guys. There was another guy, Brian the Bull Barboza. Yeah, so there was three of us, and we got in the ring. The first guy was strong, but I could tell he was inexperienced. He didn't have the polish that I had, so I took care of him pretty good. The other guy, I think he was from Jersey. He was from the street. Brian the Bull Barboza. And honestly, I think he just had a fight like a year ago. Like he came back like he.
Oh, really?
He was the name, Brian the Bull. Like this guy just came. He was like little Tyson, just a Puerto Rican kid, and man, he knew like that was his out. Like if this was his opportunity. And I'm a Canadian. I'm a gentle guy. I'm by the rules.
Yeah.
Listen, let's box, man. Let's box. And he came out swinging hard. Man, I was scared for my life, but I had enough skills and ability that at the end of that, they said, hey, we're going to, uh, and they said this, they go, you need three things in boxing. You want to make it, three things. And I tell fighters this to this very day. You need three things. You need coaching, you need connections, and you need cash. And they said, listen, coaching, we got you. Connections, we got you. Cash, that guy over there that was watching you, he's going to be your manager. He'll take care of you. And that was it. They said, come back. And, I can't remember how long it was. We came back. I brought a lawyer with me because the lawyers were my lawyers were big boxing fans. So they couldn't believe they're going to go to the Petronelli gym.
Yeah, yeah.
Pictures, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know if they read the contract. They were in such awe.
They're like, yeah, sign this. It's fine.
Can we get our picture? Yeah. For the wall. And did that. And that was, that's how I started. Had a team right from the get-go. And that's kind of what I maintained my whole career, was always making sure I had a team that had the cash, the coaching, and the connections.
How long were you with those guys?
I was with those guys for about 2 years. No, about a year and a half.
That's pretty short-lived.
Yeah, I was undefeated. I was 5-0 with 5 knockouts, and my 6th fight I lost. And I was just like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I should be losing. And some guys who were training with me told me about this thing called a training camp, where they eat, sleep, live boxing. I was like, what? And they're like, hey, you know what? We know the guy who's in charge of the training camp. If you want to go there for a visit, we'll set you up. I was like, I got to go. So I went to this training camp, and I met the promoter, and I met the trainer, and I was in love. I was like, yo, this is hardcore. And that's when I moved to Erie, Pennsylvania to join the training camp. And that's really what I say. That's the start of my professional boxing career. Up until that time, I was an amateur fighting in the pros. And when I went to the training camp, I learned how to be a pro. My trainer, John Davenport, he's passed, but John Davenport was, man, this guy was, he did three tours of Vietnam. He was recon.
Damn.
Recon. So the first one's in, he was in the recon division. This guy did 3 tours, and the second 2 were voluntary. Like, this guy was, you walked the line, man. And he just taught me. He taught me about how to be a professional, what it takes to be a professional in life, in boxing, and I learned a lot of things that from him, and that I still teach my fighters to this very day.
That's so cool.
So from there, I went 6.5 years undefeated, basically.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
How many fights did you have undefeated? What was that streak?
So I went from 5-1 to, I fought Bernard Hopkins for the world title. I was 22-1 at the time when I fought Bernard Hopkins. Yeah.
That's
so
a
that
solid
was,
run.
Yeah. Right to HBO. So it was,
that's incredible. So did you, you said your dream was the gold Mercedes or whatever. Were you able to kind of get that cash flow you were looking for as a young boxer?
Lexus. Go up Lexus.
I guess that'll do.
It's a good car, man.
I guess that's fine.
Yeah. When you're a kid, though, I mean, you start off, you have these dreams and these what you believe, the thing that you're chasing, you believe that this is the thing. And along the way, for me, I realized that that's not really what I wanted. Because my goal was, all right, I was like, I'm 19. I'm going to win a world title in 3 years, defend it for a year, and then I'm out. I'm going to get it. Because back then, P. Diddy was the man. So, and he had this video where he was on a yacht drinking champagne with all his boys and the honeys. That was going to be my life. So
yeah,
all right.
Of course.
Right? Like that looked good to me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to retire after a year. By like 24 years old, man, I'm living the life. And didn't happen like that.
It's just not the way it is.
It's just not the way it is.
Not everyone gets that Mike Tyson money.
Yeah.
And
even Mike Tyson, he had to pay his dues. It's a process. And you have to be in love with the process, And that's what I fell in love with. I fell in love with, doing what they call the day-to-day grind, consistency of discipline, all those things. I fell in love with it. it led me to having a pretty successful career in boxing.
Yeah. What weight class did you fight in? Did you mention that earlier?
Yeah, so I started off as a middleweight,
Okay.
and then I moved up to, so the maximum there was 160 pounds,
Okay.
and then I moved to super middleweight, which the maximum was 168.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's not huge by any means. But
No.
it's big enough for fighting weight. I know, like I follow Ryan Garcia.
Yep.
I mean he's pretty small, but he fights like 126 or something like that.
Yeah, and he could easily carry probably 154. So he's going to keep moving up along the way, and
Right.
he'll claim titles in multiple weight classes.
Yeah, he's a wicked fighter, eh?
He's so fast.
He's
He's so
wild.
fast.
I love his Instagram videos, man, where he's
Yeah,
just
right. Just total hand speed.
oh man, I mean like it's not like power or anything, but like the
No.
speed is incredible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he's got
street
wicked
fighter.
power too. He can punch.
Yeah, and you know what? Speed kills, right? Like, just the delivery of the speed is you. I mean, Roy Jones, right? Like, it's just
Oh, I love Roy
can't
Jones.
plan for it. Yeah.
He's a whole different cat, eh? Like I mean, he was an entertainer. He's one of those guys that like you want to hate him because he's kind of like he's almost mocking the sport when he plays.
Yeah.
But he was just so elite. Like he was so far ahead. And you watch these videos, like I probably watch Roy Jones compilation like once a month.
Yeah.
Because I just love it. And it's like this 90s grainy film.
Yeah.
But he was so ahead of these guys. And then you start thinking like these are professional boxers who are like big dudes.
Yeah.
And he's out there like swinging his arm around like a monkey, like just being a total goofball.
Yeah.
And just knocking people out, and then he's rapping on top of that, and I don't know, he's just wild.
Playing basketball.
Yeah, he's wild.
Like, he went and played basketball in the afternoon, and then went straight to the fight and fought. Like, who does that? Who does that?
That's like the stories you hear of Tyson too, like how far ahead he was of everyone when he was in. I mean, it's not a positive point by any means, but he was like smoking joints before fights with like professional boxers. It's like what?
Crazy.
Like
Crazy.
that would not fly.
Yeah.
But they're on a whole nother level, right? And I mean, Mike Tyson was he's a whole different breed of animal.
Totally. He was groomed from 12 years old, right, to just be that machine.
Yeah, he knew nothing else, and pretty wild.
Yeah.
So I think like I love the idea that you chased your dream at 19, and you were obviously extremely dedicated to that. I mean, I'm like reflecting back to when I was 19. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to handle like chasing a dream like that. I didn't have the maturity or the drive to do anything along those lines. So I think that's really cool. But not only that, you chased your dream, you succeeded, you went number one, and that you never lost that passion, and you turned that into a business after, and you made it your career and your life's work. And I think that says a lot about like your character and that sort of thing. So tell me about transitioning into being an entrepreneur and what that looked like, because a lot of guys, they fight for a few years and that's it, right? They hopefully you made enough money. If not, you get a job, maybe speaking once in a while or whatever. But, I'm not really sure what retired athletes do that didn't make millions. I'm not really sure what they do.
Yeah. And I gotta say, like, I had a good team around me, and my manager, one of my managers, the last manager that I had, his name was Stan Hoffman. Stan Hoffman has managed over, I think, 45 world champions. And between when a fighter weighs in and when they have to fight, it's usually a day. And what we do is we eat with our team. And I would always sit there and talk with Stan Hoffman. I mean, this guy Stan is like 89 now, right? So he just has so much wisdom. And I just remember sitting with him, and I was talking to him. He managed Hasim Rockman. So, and he told me, he said, and so this is when Hasim Rockman had beat Lennox Lewis, and and that's whole thing. And I remember like, so he was living large. Like I seen bought him a Lexus, and like he was living large. He
Yeah.
did good. And I was like, so like, talk to me, Stan. Like, what's the key? What's the, like, how do you, how do you do this? And he said, Syd, listen, you find something that you're good at and you love, and you stick to it. He goes, I didn't end up here with Hasim Rockman, the world champion. There's a lot of years, because this is all I do. I'm a boxing manager. I'm
Mm.
not 10 different things. I found something that I love, and that I want to dedicate myself to, and I just keep plugging away at it day in, day out, day in, day out. And that stuck with me. That stuck with me. And that's what I've done in boxing and in business. It's just like, you find something, and you just, because in order to get great at something, even to be good at it, you've got to put in so many hours. You
Yeah.
know this. I
Yep.
mean, podcasting, like, you got to put the reps in,
You
and
got
you
to put the
keep
time in,
switching.
100%.
You don't put the reps in, you can't excel at it. And if you want to excel at anything, unfortunately, fortunately, whatever, it takes reps. You just gotta stick to it. You
Yeah,
know?
there's a lot of behind the scenes of anything that people don't see and don't understand.
Yeah,
A lot of people think, if anyone watches this YouTube video or they listen to the podcast audio, they think, yeah, they sat down for an hour and they chatted. Like, yeah, well, that's great, but it also took me time to connect with you, and it took you time to connect with me. It took me hours to edit the audio. It took me hours to edit the video. It takes money for the hosting services and the website service and all that kind of stuff. People don't see that kind of stuff, and that's totally fine. That's the part
yeah,
of, this is a hobby to me. It's something that I love doing, so I'm happy to do all those things. But it takes probably about 10 hours per episode of work to
yeah,
release one podcast episode. And that's with anything. You see a guy fighting in the ring, it's like, well, that's thousands of hours outside the ring of
thousands.
fighting, and watching what you eat and your dieting, and the cardio and mental training and all this kind of stuff. There's a ton of outside stuff that you just don't see. It's not all just a 10-minute or a 5-minute little montage video
Yeah,
of skipping and hitting the bag.
yeah. I mean, the hours, like, you mentioned Ryan Garcia, and I don't even know his backstory, but I guarantee you, he spent years as an amateur
Yeah.
honing his craft, right? And now we see this, and like, oh my gosh, where'd this kid come from? Believe me, he
Yeah.
spent a lot of time, a lot of hours in that gym. You
That's what
know,
I always think that people think like musicians are like, oh, an overnight success. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, but they've been playing music for like 13 years.
yeah,
It's like it's not overnight. I mean, they finally made it. It's not
yeah,
like, I know like overnight success is like, oh, you got popular right away, but people think they came out of nowhere. It's like they
yeah,
didn't come out of nowhere, man. They've been grinding.
yeah, yeah.
And
It's a
anyone,
10-year,
like whether you're
10-year overnight success.
exactly, whether you're an entrepreneur or an author or a fighter or any kind of
Yeah,
athlete or whatever you're doing, takes time. It takes, like, if you're an author, it might be like your fifth book that makes you money.
yeah,
It's like, it
yeah,
doesn't take a day to write a book. It takes months. It's
for
like
sure, for
people
sure.
don't realize the time and effort that people put into success. And I think that's why a lot of people become haters, because people think that
Yeah.
everyone just gets success out of
Mm,
nowhere, and they think, well, why not
hmm.
me? It's like, well, why not you? Well, you're not doing anything.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
sit around watching Netflix, and you're not putting time in the gym. You're not eating right. You're not exercising. You're not reading books. You're not surrounding yourself with successful people.
true.
You're not doing anything that breeds success, and you're wondering why you're not winning.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like you got to put that time in. You got to make conscious effort to be a better person if you want to succeed in anything.
absolutely. Yeah,
So I mean, that's why I just want to mention that I love the idea that you took this one step further and started your business, and you've been holding on to that dream, and not only holding on to that dream, but you're fulfilling and creating, or helping people create and fulfill their dreams as well now. How awesome is that?
it, it's really cool. It's great because I get to take people and see them, achieve their goals and dreams by what I've already experienced.
Mm,
So now my experiences have an even greater value if I'm able to communicate and share. And it's, oh man, coaching is It's diverse. It's all encompassing. It's I have such an appreciation for my coaches now. So it's kind of like your parents, right? Until you're a
Yeah.
parent, you have like, oh my
You
gosh,
don't
my
get it.
coaches, like, oh, I admire them. I love each and every one of them because I know how much they put into me, and I didn't really, because when you're an athlete, and I understand this too, when you're an athlete, you're pretty much focused on yourself. That's about it, right?
Hmm.
Like you're like, okay, when am I going to eat? When am I going to sleep? When am I going to do this? When that? You're not thinking about, does coach have a family? Does coach have, other obligations? Or you're like, hey, when is coach going to meet me at the gym? Like that's what you do,
Yeah.
right? And now that I'm away from that, I'm on the other side. I'm like, holy smokes, my coaches. Wow, the amount of investment they put inside me. And so now I get to honor them by taking what they taught me and taking those lessons and sharing with other athletes. So that's the way that I honor my coaches.
Yeah,
So
that's so cool. What brought you back to Canada after your career? Was it just you wanted to come back home? Are you from the Kitchener Waterloo area originally?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm from the
Okay, so
Kitchener
you
Waterloo.
came you came home.
Yeah, and I always, even though I was in the U.S. training and fighting, after between my fights, that sort of thing, I always had residence here in
Mm,
Kitchener, and I'd come back to Kitchener. Um, it just made sense for me to do that because this is where my family is, and I like to separate the work and the play, so to speak. When I'm at training camp, I know what that environment's about. That environment's about work. It's about
mm,
discipline. It's about focus. But you can't do that, 24/7, 365.
right.
So between my fights, change the environment. I know what this is. It's relaxed. You know what I mean? So always have residence in Kitchener all throughout. So
Mm.
it's just natural for me to set up shop uh, in Kitchener, where I have my roots.
And how was it starting out that when you decided to finally retire as a pro boxer,
Yeah.
what was it like to open up your own gym and your business? I mean, did you have any kind of business experience before that, or was that totally a new venture, or what was that like? Gentlemen, I want to interrupt this episode just briefly to remind you yet again to subscribe, share, rate, and review the podcast. Most of all, enjoy it, guys. But if you have the opportunity, please share it with one of your friends. There's a lot of men in the world that have no idea that there's podcasts that are made just for them. And this podcast right here is made just for the men in your life. It's guys like you who want to be better men, better fathers, better husbands, better entrepreneurs, better employees, whatever, that keep this world moving forward and keep this world great. So share it with the other men in your life so we can all become the best men that we can be, guys. All right, back to the episode.
Yeah. So when I was making a decision whether to turn pro or maybe go to school, I would be going to school. If I was going to go to school, it'd have been for business.
Hmm.
I always had a knack for business, and I always was interested in business. And so I knew one day I'd be doing business. And so even when I was in Massachusetts, I took 'cause you can't train all day long.
Right.
I did go to college there, so I went to a community college there, and I studied accounting and marketing and these sorts of things
Cool.
along the way. So when it was time to start a business, I kind of had a little bit of a foundation and understanding of what it would take, and um, yeah, it was just pulling the trigger. And I didn't start it right away. As a matter of fact, uh, I was teaching a little bit at a club, teaching, doing some private lessons, maybe doing a class here and there, and then I was like, I don't think I got everything down yet. So I took a job at I saw there was an opening for um, a boxing coordinator at a gym in Guelph. And it paid $17.50 an hour. So my initial was like 17.50. That's not a lot of money. But then I was like, well, I'm going to start my own business anyways. So basically, I'm getting paid 17.50 to go to school because I'm going to go in there. I'm going to learn everything that I can,
Right.
and that's what I did. I went there for a year, and I was the best employee. You can talk this like I worked hard for these guys, but I also was like, hey, talk to me about these books here. Like, how does
Yeah,
this
yeah.
work? And they shared, like they were like open, and they were amazing with books, amazing with numbers. And that's one thing I learned right away was just like you got to get the numbers. You
Mm.
got to, because they didn't have all the boxing experience. They didn't have. They're pretty good salesmen too. They're good salesmen. They didn't have the boxing experience I had, but they understood numbers and they could sell. and they ran a successful business. So numbers, sales, and you're gonna do okay. Jeez, and I got boxing experience, and I can communicate. I think I could do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I did. I went and I apprenticed basically. I qualified for a year. I learned everything, and I was like, okay, now I'm ready. That's when I started.
And was it called Syd Fit right from the start?
It was not. It was called Boxing by Syd. It was
Okay.
Boxing by Syd. So that's what it was
It is
called.
Syd Fit now, though.
It is Syd Fit.
And
So
how
that
long
was
has it been?
Syd Fit. I want to say I think I was about into year 5. I was into year 5, and that's when I just knew that. I mean, in life, my whole career, I had a coach, and I was like, I need a coach. So I was looking for a business coach, and I found a business coach.
Hmm.
Um, and Matt Sims and I, we sat down and we talked, and he knew his stuff, and he started coaching me. He's still my coach to this day, and probably like 6 months to a year in, he's just like, you know what? You got a very niche market with Boxing by Syd.
Yeah.
There's a whole other market there that you're not going to even be able to attract because, your name just speaks to boxing.
Yeah.
So he said, why not Syd something or some, the fit stuff is really good, like CrossFit, fit, something to
Yeah.
fit. And then I was just like, and then we said Syd Fit. And I wasn't totally sold on it right away. I was a little bit hesitant, resistant, but I could see what he was saying and the sense it made. And so, did up a logo, and it worked, and Syd Fit was born.
Yeah. A name always sounds weird at the start, but what you have to like, and I went through the same thing,
Yeah,
rebranding the podcast to Men of Bronze. And I was like, I like the name, but I don't love it.
yeah,
But it grows into it, and it just becomes the name. I mean, if you analyze the name of anything,
yeah.
it's gonna sound silly if you look down to it. It's like everything
Google,
sounds dumb.
Google,
Exactly,
really,
exactly. Everything
really,
is silly,
Google.
but
But
it
now
it just becomes the thing. It just
it
is.
becomes the things.
Like exactly. So it just becomes the thing. But I'm really interested with what you said about getting a business coach, because that's one thing that I've learned recently, was how important it is to get mentors and coaches.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of people don't see the value in that, and they're afraid to spend money on that,
hmm,
because if you expect someone to give you value with their time and their experience, you need to compensate them in some way. It has to be a two-way exchange. And if I
yeah,
can't offer them anything of value because I'm just taking from them, I need to pay that person.
yeah,
You can't expect to tap into someone's 20 years of business or marketing or whatever experience and not compensate them in some way. So that's one thing that I've learned recently, and that I learned that from reading a couple of books and from a different podcast as well. So I've actually been linking up with a coach, and
nice.
we've got our first session in 2 weeks. So that'll be interesting. And I mean, I don't have a huge budget, obviously, to pay somebody, but we're gonna
Yeah,
try
yeah,
and work together and that kind of thing. But if you want to gain value from someone, you got to pay them.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
I'm hoping to gain some
absolutely.
value from that. So I'm assuming there was some kind of transaction between you and your business coach of some sort. He has to get some value from you as well. So I just think that's really important, and I feel like people don't see how crucial that is if you want to grow in any way. I mean, like, don't waste your time figuring it all out yourself. People have already figured it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Tap into that a little bit.
yeah. And especially if they've been successful at it,
Yes.
right? And so, my business coach, he came from a lineage of a business coaching family, and so I just knew that he had been a part of that, and had been under the hood of so many different companies and businesses already, that it was a no brainer. But yeah, I mean, like, what did I hear the other day? Don't take constructive criticism when someone's never constructed anything.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, I want to be around people that are helping me. If they're going to help me, they've achieved something, that they're actually practitioners.
They
Not because
know
there's
what they're
people that are
talking
like,
about.
yeah, there are people that can talk about stuff, but they've never done it. And it's like, okay, maybe, but like, if you've done it, all right, that's a different level. When you've actually done it, now you've really got my ear, right?
Yeah.
So I love that.
What made you want to get a business coach specifically? Did you just think like I need help here? Or did you have like what made you want to get a coach? Because I know a lot of people don't even think about that. It doesn't even cross their mind.
Yeah, I just knew we were just at that level. We were just at this place, and I was just like, okay, I've got like a little team going on here. I've read about this vision and mission, and I got it, I get it, but I'm like, I just, I don't know, I just knew at that time that I needed a consultant. I needed somebody to be on my side, to be able to coach me. I needed leadership. I needed growth. I needed growth, and that was kind of like the thing that was kind of on my mind is like, how am I going to grow? Well, if I'm going to grow, I probably need a coach, a mentor, that type of thing. So that was it.
Were there some drastic changes you kind of made right away, or were there small things? What did you implement shortly after having the coach come into your life?
Yeah, huge things like there. So like we talked about excellence. So like I had a team. So Matt says we did everything ad hoc. Everything was ad hoc. It was like we do this today. Maybe we'll do something different tomorrow.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
this, maybe that. We just like whatever.
There
It's
was no
kind of
plan.
working. No plan. It's kind of working, but why is it working? And yeah, so everything was just ad hoc. So I think the big one was like I was just like my trainers, like I can't figure out why would they do that? Like why would they like that's just not excellent. And he said, Syd, well, what's excellence? Well, excellence is this, and this. Do they know that?
Hmm.
Oh, no, because you have to show them and create what excellence looks like at Syd Fit. So we made an excellent trainer checklist. It's just 10 things. An excellent trainer shows up 15 minutes early. An excellent trainer greets its clients. An excellent trainer,
Hmm.
does this. And then we had something to actually measure and be able to say, okay. And like he's such a brilliant guy. He's just like, listen, Syd, you measure to improve, not to control. Right? We don't
Right.
control people with measurements. We measure to improve. So it's always about, okay, how can we get better? So people don't want to feel like you're watching everything they're doing, being like, oh, yeah, did that wrong, cross. No, we're measuring because we want to improve. How can I help you get better at what you want to do? All right. And so that was probably like just really understanding that we need a system. We need a system to everything that we do. And that was game changing. That was
Yeah,
game
I
changing.
bet. I bet that even, I mean, that ties into everyday life too. That's one thing that I've been learning as well from I read a book called Willpower Doesn't Work by Dr. Benjamin Hardy,
Uh-huh.
and he has a new book that just released yesterday called Personality Isn't Permanent. And I interviewed him on the podcast as well. That episode just dropped this week, and he talks a lot about setting up your environment for success.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also talked with a couple other guys who are pretty great. Chase Hughes, for example, he's a behavior expert,
Yeah.
and he says like be your butler for the next day. So he said, like, what do I do for myself? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I make the next day as easy as possible for myself today.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so when I wake up in the morning, my clothes for the day are laid out
Yeah.
because my past self laid them out for me before bed. So
Yeah.
now there's the decision of what to wear is gone.
It's gone.
I just get
Yeah.
dressed, good to go. I go upstairs, the coffee maker's already prepped and ready. Just press
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Boom. It takes a minute the night before,
Yeah.
but boom, ready to go. Decision,
Yeah.
no decision to be made. It's done, it's ready, boom.
Yeah.
So have a process in order. And a lot of things that work in business work in everyday life too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why a lot of the most successful business people are, they read books, they get up at a specific time each day.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have processes in their everyday life which breeds success.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just habits, right? Success
Exactly. Yeah.
habits.
Discipline.
So it is.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if do you follow Jocko Willink at all?
Uh a little bit.
A little bit?
Someone else I know follows Jocko. They're like Jocko, Jocko,
Yeah.
Jocko. I went and
Yeah.
I took a little look at Jocko. Yeah.
Well, his big thing is discipline equals freedom.
Mm.
Everyone thinks that discipline is,
Oh,
a crappy way to live your life. It's, I don't want to be regimented
no.
and all that kind of stuff. Well, the idea is that if you live a disciplined life, your life actually becomes easier
Yeah. I
because
agree.
you eliminate decision making.
Yeah.
It's not oh, am I going to do this today? Am I going to eat that cake or not? Nope. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
I've made the decision. It's not happening. Or, man, am I going to work out today? I'm like, I'm not sure. It's like, no. I told myself at least 30 minutes a day. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting out there. I'm getting it done.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
questions. The decision is already made. So I love that kind of stuff because I mean that's huge, right? And if you do that kind of stuff, I'm not going to get up at 4:30 like Jocko Willink every morning, but
Yeah.
that's those are huge things. Put processes in order, and then I just love that you said that for business because that totally ties into everyday life.
Yeah. No, totally. And yeah, I mean, that's like one of, I don't know, that's got to be like, oh, what do I go, top three? Like discipline? Like
Hmm.
discipline is like, man, it's that thing. It's, I try. And by the way, I'm totally using that. The
Discipline equals freedom.
no, the be your own butler. The
Oh
next day,
yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. I'm totally. Yeah, I'm using that one.
Steal it.
I'm starting to do that tomorrow, man. I'm
You
gonna start
good?
laying out my, because I thought about it. I was like, should I
Hmm.
lay out my clothes for tomorrow? I was like, well, I know I'm gonna wear, so I don't need to lay it out. But I'm like,
Yeah.
why not just lay it out?
Stick
Just
it out.
lay it
Take it out of the dresser. Put it
out.
on top. It's done.
Yeah, just put it out. Yeah, totally. I'm on it. Done.
It's huge. I mean, like, because sometimes even if you think the clothes is there, you open the drawer and there's no freaking socks,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you're like, well, what now?
Yeah.
It's like if it seems small, but it's like that just ruined my morning.
Yeah,
Whereas if I checked this the night before, I would have seen there was no socks. I would have done a load of laundry. No big deal.
yeah,
So
yeah. Now your
take
flow is totally,
yeah, you're
totally
done.
messed up. Yeah.
Now
So
you're going barefoot in your shoes. It's just a mess.
I get over the sandals. What are you doing? Oh
More
man.
decisions to make, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's one thing
Yeah.
too that Dr. Benjamin Hardy talks about is freeing your mental space.
Hmm.
So his big thing is again, eliminating decisions. So for him, for example, he doesn't drink, and
Yeah.
he says I just never drink. He said I don't have a problem with people drinking,
Hmm.
but for me, I've eliminated the question. So I never have to think about it.
Yeah.
I go to a party, and if someone says, "Hey, you want a beer?" It's like, nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to say, am I driving? You
Yeah.
know, 2 hours. I got to be home, so maybe I can have one or two. It's like, no,
Yeah.
decision is already made, done.
Yeah.
And yeah, he talks about like clean your wardrobe up. Over the years, especially as an athlete, like how many T-shirts can you build up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll have like 40 T-shirts of events and Spartan
Yeah.
races
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
this stuff, and it's like if you haven't worn it in 6 months, give it away or throw
Yeah.
it out. And I did that after reading his book, and I went from two dressers down to one dresser.
Okay.
I had two
All right.
dressers in my room.
Wow.
It was ridiculous. So I packed up two garbage bags full of clothes, brought them to the hub, it's like our local Salvation Army
Yeah.
thing. And the dressers in the garage now empty. Like, so I've eliminated that mental space because when you open those drawers and there's like 8 sweaters there and you
Yeah.
only ever wear 2 of them, well, moving those ones out of the way is thought process,
The thought process. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Eliminate it.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna work towards that one. I've got so during COVID, I learned how to fold clothes really, really neat and small.
okay,
I got
get
36
more in there.
t-shirts, 36 t-shirts in one drawer, and it looks nice. It looks nice. So
So you can go a whole month and not wash your clothes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but these are the things, right? We add stress and anxiety onto our lives for nothing,
Yeah,
right?
agreed.
I mean, let's be honest here. You don't need 36 t-shirts. It's
No,
like my wife has she's like, oh, I have no pants. I went in her room. There's like 27 pairs of pants. Like,
but isn't that a code though? I think I heard that when they say they don't have something, it means that they want to go shopping. What they're saying is that I want to go buy some new pants.
oh man, see, I'm still learning. Still, I'm 7 years in, but I'm still learning here.
Nice.
I'm a
Dude,
work in progress.
you'll get there. You'll get there. I celebrated 18 on Monday, so
Oh, congratulations.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Any tips for keeping a successful, long, happy marriage?
Um, Yeah, it's not sexy, but it's work.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not working, you're not doing it right.
Mm,
Right? You have to. It's work. It's work. I mean, marriage counseling, all of these seminars. If there's one, and we're going. Like,
right.
there's no problem. Why am I going to wait for a problem? I'm going. And we've learned so many cool things in these couples counseling and this and that, and we love it. And it's what helps keeps us fresh, and it helps keeps us thinking about how can we please each other and
Right.
love each other, and because it's easy to focus on other things, right, and forget about the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, right? So
Yeah,
definitely,
why not go to a seminar or a workshop or
uh,
whatever to do with something that you guys do together, right?
yeah,
I mean, you
yeah,
live
yeah,
with each other, so
yeah,
you might as well work on it. I like that a lot. I think that's a good tip for sure. I like that.
yeah. No, definitely.
Um, so I don't want to put you in a place where you're uncomfortable, but
Okay,
you are also a man of faith, right?
absolutely.
So yeah, I know you're in your church as well. I don't know how big you are in your church, but obviously that plays a part in your life as well. And
Yeah,
I assume it in your marriage too, and with how you raise your kids and all that kind of stuff is, keeping a faith-based relationship. Obviously scripture tells us a lot about how we can how to keep a marriage safe and secure, and how to treat our wives, and how to be the head of the household and all that kind of stuff. To be willing to lay your life down for your wife and all that sort of thing, and the
yeah,
sacrifices as men that we have to make. And that ties into what you said. Like it is a lot of work. It's a lot of conscious effort to be a good husband.
yeah. And I like what you said. It's conscious, right? And it's just setting boundaries in that relationship. It's kind of like you said about discipline. Um, Boundaries aren't bad. Oh my gosh, you can't do that. No, no, I
Mm,
choose not to do that because that allows us to be able to function without having to, you know what I mean? And it's better. It's better for us. So, like,
yes.
we set up uh, we used to listen to Joyce Meyer quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Joyce Meyer, she's a beast. I love her.
She is. She's a
And
savage.
oh my gosh. And I'm pretty sure she talked about just about counseling the opposite sex and these sorts of things. And like, that's one thing. Like, I don't go out with other females
Mm,
for dinner, for this, for meetings. It just doesn't happen.
yeah.
It's like you said. There are things I just don't do. I don't even think about that. Some, like, no, there's nothing, and there's nothing between us, but it just opens the door for
Yeah.
something to me. So it's just like, no, we just choose not to do that. And there's just certain things you can just put in your marriage that are just it's, it's just to safeguard your marriage, and it's such an important relationship, especially when you
Oh
have kids
man.
too. Like, you gotta put things in place, that to safeguard that marriage.
Yeah, I agree. Like I've had a couple of buddies, and they're good sports about it, but a lot of my friends aren't married yet.
Mm.
And a lot of them
Mm.
don't even have girlfriends.
Yeah, yeah,
Never mind
yeah,
a wife and kids. So I've got two little
yeah,
girls.
yeah,
Um, but they just don't quite understand why I'm not available to go for a couple drinks after a work day every day. And it's like, well, Hannah's been at home with two wild toddlers for 12 hours.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah,
last thing she needs is for me to go gallivanting at a bar having drinks with the boys right now. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
so it's like, this is part of the work, right? It's like, I'm not,
yeah,
it's doesn't make me upset to miss that time with the guys because I know that I'm there for my family.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
if you treat your wife right, you treat your kids right, you treat your relationship right, you'll have those times. Like I'm going golfing with my buddies next Friday.
yeah,
So, next Friday is I'm going golfing with the guys, and we'll go for dinner after, and we're gonna hang out for the evening, and that's cool. And it's totally fine, because like last night I sent her away. I said, you go out with your
yeah,
sister. I planned a dinner with her sister. I said, you're going out with your sister tonight. I'll do bedtime with the kids. It's been a pretty wild week for you. I'll do bedtime. I've got this. You go out and have some fun. So, they went out to a patio, had some nice dinner by the waterfall, just relax because mom needs her time too.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So there's this push pull in a marriage, and you don't always want to be the one that's taking.
Taking. Yeah.
And
You've got to sow into it, just like any. It's really, you got to sow into your marriage
yeah,
constantly. Sow into your marriage. Sow into it, and then guess what? You get to reap the benefits
yeah,
of
exactly.
having a great marriage, and
Yeah, the
So
benefits are you have a great marriage, which will be um, you know, happy times. You'll be sexually satisfied. All these good benefits, and also you get to have guilt-free time with your friends when that comes up.
yeah,
So like
yeah,
it's a win-win-win.
yeah, totally,
It's
totally.
silly. And one thing that I'll never forget that Lecrae said in
Mm,
one of his interviews was, keep dating.
mm-hmm.
Don't stop dating your wife,
Mm,
because
yeah,
that's easy to do, right? And
yeah,
I've been I've fallen into that before, where it's been like months I haven't taken her out
yeah,
anywhere,
yeah, yeah,
and especially when you get kids, it's
yeah.
a whole different curveball.
Oh, it is, man. It is.
But you got to do something. You got to be, again, conscious about it, right? You got to be
Yeah,
consciously making that decision to keep in this relationship up and positive and happy for her and all that kind of stuff, because it's tough.
yeah, and I think early on, or you just hear these, you think like, oh, why do I have to work at it? We're in love, we're married. Like it, if I work at it, it seems like it's contrived, like it's not
Mm,
real, right? Like that your mind, like you're like, well, no, you have to actually think about it. You actually have to plan. You actually,
yeah.
and my wife loves it, and I think most women do, when men actually plan an evening out, like they actually plan
Yes.
stuff, right? Because they're good at planning other things, but when it comes to our time, oh, wait a minute, I've heard it. Oh, you plan this big thing for the gym, this, that, that. Well, what about me? You're planning something for me? Yes, honey. Yes.
It's the least I could do. I mean, my wife plans everything for us. Like,
Yeah. Hey, I'm
I
there
don't
too.
I don't do anything with that kind of stuff. It's like, it's
They're
I'll get a
amazing.
text like, "Oh, it's your dad's birthday today, by the way." I'm like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And "Oh, it's Bill's birthday, so give him a text. Thanks, honey."
Yeah.
"Oh, it's Brian's birthday. Call him. Thanks, honey." Like, she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I picked up your dad a gift for Father's Day."
Oh
Like,
my gosh,
"Thanks,
amazing,
honey. You're the
amazing.
best. You got this."
All right, I can at least plan. Once a month I can plan to take you out. I'm gonna do
I
it.
can at least get her like a, I don't know, something nice once a month or something. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to get her some more pants.
Yeah, there you go. That's it, man. That's it.
Hey, we're going pants shopping. Let's go. No,
Oh,
that's great though, man. You guys are you're celebrating 18 years. Um, you got a successful business. You're a man of faith. You got kids. How old are your kids?
19, 18, and 14.
Okay, so you got three, and
Yeah, all teenagers. Yeah, all
one's
teenagers.
just leaving high school then.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. This was her last year of high school. And so she's kind of figuring out what she wants to do.
Hmm.
And then my 19-year-old, she just finished her first year of university college.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What do you have? Is it two girls, one boy, or
Yeah,
three
exactly. The
girls?
two oldest are girls, and then my boy is 14.
Yeah, I think our kind of plan is to try and have one more, and
Yeah,
it'd be nice to get a boy. We have two little
there you
girls.
go.
I'd be totally fine with another girl. It's fine, because
Yeah.
I love having girls, and Adeline, my oldest, is like his daddy's little helper. So
Mm-hmm.
she's
Mm-hmm.
a blast, man. She was out there with me today with the with the drill, with the hammer drill actually. And
Yeah.
it's just making it's so loud, and
Yeah.
she's there. She helps me change the oil in the cars. She's just hilarious. So whereas my youngest is like, any noise, she's like, it's too loud. So she doesn't want to be near tools at all. But Adeline's like, she's right in there. Like, what can I help you with,
Yeah.
Daddy? What can I carry? What can
Nice.
I do? So
Nice.
it's
Nice.
nice. But I
Nice.
mean, having a boy would be nice too, right? I'd like my shot at raising a man.
You know what? We had two girls, and it was my wife. She was like, "Can we try again?"
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm all for trying.
Like, I'm in.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, and then because I don't know what the odds are. I think it's like they're it's once you've had two girls, the odds are pretty low that you're gonna have a boy. You're most likely gonna have another girl. And I just remember going into the ultrasound, and they're like, "Oh, you're having a boy," and I didn't. It didn't matter to me, but I just had to like be like, "See, who did it? Who?
Yeah.
We
Who
we
planted
can
that
decide.
seed?
That's me. That's all me." Oh man, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, that'd be nice because, like, I'm not joking. Like, I would love the opportunity to try and raise a man because I think
Yeah,
it's important, and I think there's obviously there's a ton of good dads out there for 100%,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think there are a lot of boys that don't get the chance to be really raised as a man that I I don't want to say anything too offensive, but like there's a lot of young men that are lacking in the realm of masculinity and that kind of thing. And we live in a society right now too that tells us that our masculinity is bad, and
Yeah.
men are evil and all that kind of. I mean, especially being a white dude, you're really evil. But
Yeah, man, you're like that's.
I'm the worst of the worst. So it's I think that's sad 'cause I think as men we have a lot to offer, and I think if we don't, as fathers, if we don't capitalize on teaching our boys to be great men and to respect their women and all that kind of stuff, we're not doing them. We're not we're not being fair to them if we don't teach
There
them
is.
those
There's a
morals.
lot. I think I heard it said. Like one of the best compliments is, if you have a boy and when he's dating another girl and he's about to get married, and the parents come over and say, thank you so much for raising, a
Mm,
great man. Like, and that's kind of keep that in mind, as I'm raising my son. It's just okay. And I always tell him, I'm like, listen, I'm training you up to like, Dad, why do I gotta do this? Well, one day you're gonna have to raise a family. It's not
yeah.
easy. Like I gotta train you. Like this is why. I know it's not easy, son. Like these are some of the things that you're gonna have a family. You gotta raise. You gotta take care of, right? So
Yep.
we gotta, those are some things we gotta make sure we start up now. And
Yep.
so yeah, those are important things and lessons that we gotta make sure we teach our boys.
And it's never too early to start teaching those things either, man, because you
Yeah.
never know what could happen too. And
Mm,
you could have
yeah.
an accident,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he's man of the house.
He's stepping up. Yep.
He's got to take care of mom now. He's got to take care of his sisters, even though they're older. He's
Yeah.
got to take care of them, and so
Yeah.
it's never too early to teach those morals. I mean, we don't need to treat our kids like Spartan warriors or anything like that, but like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
they should
No.
be taught responsibility and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of important things there, and I think a lot of the guys in my life that are fathers who go to my church and stuff, I think they do a good job of that.
Nice. That's
So
good.
it's nice to see the guys of faith around me that do a good job of that. And I'm not saying there's guys in my life that aren't
Yeah.
Christians that
Yeah.
aren't doing that, but those are the people that are closest to me. So it is nice to see that. So
Well, it's
anyway,
kind of like a culture, right? It creates a culture of
yes,
of raising up men, and that's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, and raising girls as a dad is a blast too. Don't get me wrong,
Oh my gosh!
it's a blast.
Listen, our girls, like we're set. Like they'll take care of us forever. Like we're good. We're
Yeah,
good.
girls will do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Totally, totally.
Boys will just they'll take and take and take, and then they're gone with their own family. They're
Then
making
they're
their own
gone.
money.
Then they're
See you
out.
later.
Yeah,
I gotta take
yeah,
care of my family, Dad. That's what you told me.
yeah. Exactly. That's what you told me, Dad. That's what you told me. You did. Oh man.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So what's next for Syd Fit? What does the future look like?
Yeah. So right now, we have done some pivoting and transitioning through this COVID-19, moving online with a lot of our offerings, personal training,
Mm,
classes, an app that allows clients to be able to do strength training, boxing, stretching, the whole thing with their trainer support. So now, as we move back into providing on-site training, we can now incorporate those things uh, with our offerings. So
cool.
we have a swim team in Dorbal that is now going to be offering our Zoom classes to his athletes. He just sent the email today. So like, and he's got like one girl that's like Olympic level. He's got
Cool.
high, and so we never thought about that or really believed that that could happen. But now the world is open. The world is
Mm.
our oyster.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
right? We can be training people anywhere in the world as long as they have internet. And so this is really cool, that that has come out of this. And because maybe we would have thought about it in 5 years or 8 years or 9 years, but now we're doing it right now. And so
Mm.
that's one of the positive things that's come out of it, and one of the things we look forward to providing.
Yeah, that's cool. It's amazing how the doors that have opened from this whole COVID thing.
Yeah,
I mean, regardless of what you think about, the statistics and the numbers and if we should shut down, whatever, there's been some really cool things that have come out of this. And I know there's a lot of companies that are, you know, canceling leased space for their coworkers or for their employees, and people are going to be staying at home more often and all that sort of
yeah,
thing. And I think that's great.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it'll make happier employees. Less impact on traffic and environment, all that kind of stuff, and less mileage on their cars. And there's a lot of pros.
There are, and there's, obviously nobody wants to glamorize a virus and deaths, and
Sure.
those things are, we're sensitive to that. But on the other side too, we got to look at, how have we dealt with it in a positive manner,
Hmm.
and I think a lot of people have done, like a lot of people that I've spoken to, business owners, like this one guy that I coach, as I do performance coaching too as well, and I coach him, and he he's not opening on Sundays anymore because he's like, my wife is just like, I have you all for myself. Like, she loves it. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
sh- people will come on Saturday and Friday.
Yes.
Like, just,
They'll
it's
still
okay.
come.
And he did it last week. He goes, Friday was so busy, Saturday was so busy. He goes, did you open on Sunday? He goes, not, no, because we're not doing it. And I'm like, and like, those are the things that have come out of this. Like, people just understanding and appreciating the speed they believed they had to move at before. Now they can say, maybe that wasn't normal. Maybe that was just
Hmm.
the way that I was doing it, and they can
Yep.
choose differently now. So
Yeah, and the one thing about working hard is it's great to work hard and to grind, but you'll be more productive if you take strategic breaks.
yeah,
And yet again, you know we're even told that in the Bible, right? We're told that
right.
you take
Yeah,
a break or else
take a
it's not
break.
going to work out very well for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Or he will make you lie down in
yeah,
pasture.
exactly. And you're not going to like it.
That's right.
um for myself and other guys, a lot of the guys that listen to this show have home gyms, garage gyms, and a lot of the guys are into home fitness and that kind of thing, or fitness in general. For someone like myself who's never had any boxing training, but I would love to hit something,
Yeah,
what's the one thing I should put in my garage gym?
yeah. You got to have a heavy bag.
Heavy
Yeah,
bag?
you gotta get a heavy bag, and they're so versatile these days. In terms of, they have heavy bag stands, so you don't have to mount it from the ceiling.
Yep.
Um, if you, but if you can mount it from ceiling, that's great. And I think like one of those, a ceiling mount is maybe like $25. And then if you don't want either one of those, they have ones that are floor standing ones. So they're on the floor. You fill the base with water, and you hit those things around. They're not as stable as the ones you hang, but
Yep.
yeah, definitely just, get a heavy bag.
Those heavy bags that are shaped like a teardrop, um, are those better or worse than the classic like cylinder shape
Yeah,
ones?
I would say for the fitness boxer, um, I would go with just a regular cylinder shape. I wouldn't go with the teardrop. That's
Okay.
more for like uh athletes, like pros, and yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, just go with
Yeah, I was
the old
super
classic.
intrigued with one of Garcia's latest Instagram posts was like he has that one that I think his dad is making them. It's that little, it's almost like a speed bag, but it's on like
Yeah.
this springy post. And
Oh, the
he
Cobra. Yeah, the reflex.
that thing is so cool. I mean, it's obviously
Yeah,
pretty advanced, and that's not a strength thing, right? That's for speed and agility and
yeah,
that kind of thing. But
timing, all that sort of thing.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
still so cool, and
yeah. I've
he's
seen him
so
hit
good
that.
at
Yeah,
it.
he does that pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah, man, he's
he does
good.
that.
So a heavy
Yeah.
bag is a good idea.
Heavy bag's a great idea.
Can probably get them pretty cheap too.
Yeah, I mean, you can get them new for like $150 at Sport Check Canadian Tire, and they're gonna last you, 10 years, no problem.
I'm
It
all about
doesn't
that.
matter.
I'm all about
You can
that
go
used life.
vinyl or leather. Leather's obviously gonna last longer, but a vinyl bag's still gonna get you're still gonna get 10 years. I mean, I get 10 years out of my bags, and I got people hitting them all the time. So
Is there a certain kind of, like, if I'm just training in my garage, just almost for fun, really, do I need to glove up, or should I?
yeah, eye glove, yeah, just for protection. So some sort of so hand wraps, some sort of hand wrap,
Mhm.
and gloves just to protect your bones in your hand and your knuckles and that sort of thing. Because you before you know, you just start cracking away, and like hit it the wrong way, and there goes there goes the finger.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research, and I was getting a bit intimidated about the whole glove situation. There seems to be like some online debate about what kind of gloves you should have at home, and all this kind of should it. Is there a type of glove that you recommend?
Mm. Okay, I didn't know that there's this big online debate. I'll have to do a post about that in
Yeah,
a tutorial about
because guys like
gloves.
me don't know.
Wow, wow. Um, all right. So there are different types of gloves for different applications. So
Hmm.
there's a sparring glove, a bag glove, and there's a bag mitt. The mitts are like old school, like there's like no padding in those. I wouldn't
Okay,
recommend a mitt. I'd go with a bag glove. You're probably looking like a 12-ounce glove. So that's
okay.
the weight of it. 12-ounce glove, and there's all kinds of different brands. Um, I have some specific ones that I like, but eh, get price range. You got anywhere from like $50 to $300.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would just go through the reviews and be like, okay, does it have? You want to listen? Does it have good wrist support? And does it? Do people say that it feels good on their knuckle? Wrist
Mm.
support and knuckle. How's it feel on their knuckles? Go through the reviews, and if people are saying that those things are great and they're durable, get them.
Yeah, well, at least that gives me some direction, like a 12 ounce or so bag
Yeah,
glove.
12
That
ounce
gives
bag
me
glove.
some kind of direction because, like,
Yeah,
again, like guys like me, I don't know anything about gloves or anything like that. So, like, it's very easy to buy the wrong thing.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
So, yeah, make a post for guys like me
Yeah,
who
yeah.
don't
I'll
know
do.
it,
I'll
who
make a
don't
post
know
about
anything,
it. That's
and
right.
maybe cover some some basic like bag types and stuff too. Because like again, guys like me, we don't know this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And a
Mhm.
lot of guys are trying to get home gyms up, and
True. That's true. I see a lot of heavy bags being like, I couldn't get a heavy bag. I wanted to buy one for one of my clients, and
yeah.
no go, man. Like they were sold out.
And
Yeah.
punching is a great skill. Like it's a skill that as a man you should know how to throw a punch.
Good. You
And
should. Really should.
I don't know if I can say I do right now, so I better figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's part of being a protector, right?
Well, you have to join my Zoom classes then. 20
Yeah,
bucks a
man.
month. You're all good, man.
$20 a month, that's it.
20 bucks a month. I think we got 15 classes a week going on. Yeah, man.
You
You
teach me how
join
to
in.
punch?
Done. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm in, brother. I'm in.
All right, let's make
So
it
what?
happen.
So buy a heavy bag and then join up?
You know what? Uh, I think like 3 of our classes are heavy bag optional. So if you have a heavy bag, you can use it. But
Mhm.
none of our classes do you need any equipment.
I'll just
You
punch
can
the
do them.
wall.
Yeah. You shadow box. You learn all those
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah, but that actually sounds great. That sounds like
Yeah.
something I'd be interested in. I'm gonna be throwing a TV in the garage at some point too, so I can
Yeah.
have it on there,
Yeah.
and
Totally.
that'd
Totally.
be that'd be good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Good, man. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about it.
Cool. Look forward to it.
I think that's a good time to wrap it up. We've covered some good topics there, and I like where the conversation went. It was certainly natural, and I think we got some really good info out. So, man, I appreciate your time. Um, one more thing before I let you go is, in your opinion, how can we be more effective men? And you can answer this any way you want.
How can we be more effective men? Um, you know what? I would say be more effective men by just constantly wanting to grow. and to learn, whether we're talking about the Word of God, whether we're talking about learning and growing with our wives, whether we're talking personally, all those things are good. But once you stop wanting to learn and grow, you become stagnant, and that's I don't think that's kind of what God wants from us. He wants us to continue to learn and to grow, and so and to serve, right? That's part of serving, learning and growing. It allows you to serve more. So
Yeah.
I think that's one way we can do that.
I love it. And where can people find you on social media, your website, all that kind of stuff? Plug whatever you want.
Yeah. So Instagram at Boxing by Syd. On Twitter at Syd Fit Health. And what else do I got? I got my website, sydfithealth.ca. You can find me all three of those, and I'm on Facebook, Syd Vanderpool.
Awesome. Any TikTok going on yet?
No TikTok yet. I saw yours though.
Did you?
Yours.
Yeah, I made one like
You
2
were
days ago.
You were talking about the cold showers.
Yeah, that was just
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I'm a cold shower guy too.
Yeah. No, Hannah 2 days ago, she was like, "You should start a TikTok for Men of Bronze," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not into doing dances and stuff."
Yeah.
And she was like, "It's so much. There's so much more than that. It's like any other social media platform. There's a lot of junk, but there's a lot of good, and you have the option to reach hundreds, thousands of people if you just try. And what do you have to lose?" I think, you know what? I'm in. We'll try it.
I love it.
We'll see what happens. Whatever. Can't
Good.
lose.
Listen, if you blow up, then I might have to jump in on the TikTok too.
Don't judge it on me.
Oh, so tell me, so how are you enjoying the cold showers?
Well, I hate it when I'm in there.
Yeah.
It's tough.
How long are you going for? How long are you up to?
Oh man, I'm pretty quick. Probably like 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I get in, I wash up, I get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find it challenging to breathe. Like when the water hits my chest, it's like so
Mm-hmm.
constricting, and I have
Mm-hmm.
to and it's a love-hate thing, because I enjoy being forced into consciously controlling my breath.
Good.
Like I have to be like, okay, deep breath in, large exhale, or else I'll be in there like
Yeah.
like really struggling to
Yeah.
breathe. The cold water just like shocks me big time,
Yeah.
especially when it hits my chest. So it's interesting.
I find it's all about the exhale.
Mm.
Lots of the exhale. You could live forever in the cold water with the exhale. So just enjoy the you as long as when you're exhaling, I find you don't feel the cold. So I just exhale, and
Yeah.
then just keep exhaling, and
Yeah,
you're
it's
good, man.
really really interesting. And the reason I started was I interviewed a guy named Ryan Muncie,
Okay.
and he wrote a book called F Your Feelings.
Yeah.
And it was a great book. There's a lot of science in there, a lot more science than I was anticipating, but
Yeah.
it was still good. I listened to it through Audible because I drive a
Mm-hmm.
lot for work.
I
So
love Audible. Yeah.
so I listened to it. He was a great interview, and that's one of the things that he recommends is cold showers. So I thought, well, I mean, why not? I'm down to learn stuff and try stuff and whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's been pretty cool. I have had some warm showers in between though. It's like,
Oh
you're
no,
just
yeah,
like
no,
you're like, I'm
totally.
just not feeling it right now. I
Oh.
can't handle the shock. I'm just not doing it. But
And are you doing this? Is this first thing in the morning? Is this the
yeah,
morning?
first thing.
Yeah. And
So
so mentally, right? If you can conquer a cold shower in the morning, something you hate, something that you like, why would anybody do that?
mhm.
You can conquer that first thing in the morning. What's the day got for you?
Yeah, man,
Nothing you can handle, man.
it's a
Nothing.
win.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. It's like, what?
And you're stimulated, like you're
True.
you're awake, you're alert, your
Yeah.
blood flow is increased.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. No, it's really good.
there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been enjoying that a lot. There's been a few other things that Ryan Muncie has said that I've implemented, like 8:30 every night. I turn my phone off,
Yeah.
and it's
Cool.
like I don't care if I'm texting someone. It's as soon as it hits 8:30, I turn it off. Boom, done.
Yeah.
And then I don't turn it on for the first hour I'm up in the morning. And I've found that's been like, there's a big difference too. I will let you go here eventually, but
Yeah.
there's a big difference from not looking at your phone and turning it off.
Mm,
There's a huge difference.
gotcha.
Because like when I turn it off, I'm free.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's eliminate the decision, right?
Yeah. I never thought about that. That was good,
you
man.
know, how often do you even look at your phone just for the time? You know, you grab it, you're like, oh, okay, it's 9:11.
Yeah.
Like, it's done. It's off.
Yeah.
And I'm mentally free from it, and I'm even physically free from it because I'm not looking for it. And what I found is like, I want to be more productive in the evening. I don't want to sit on the couch and look at my phone while watching TV.
Yeah.
If I sit down and want to watch something and I want to engage with it, but what I've learned on top of that now is I want to do more stuff now. I turn my phone off and I'm like, wow, what should I feel so free. Like, what should I do?
Yeah.
And I'm getting better
Yeah.
workouts in. I'm reading
Good
more
for you, man.
books.
Yeah.
Like, try it out, man. It's awesome. And like, and just tell people, like I've told a few people that I work with and stuff. It's like, or even friends, you won't get a response from me after 8:30. I'll get you back in the morning. And people understand. They're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll hit you up in the morning, man. It's fine. This is like, I'm done.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. I mean, we didn't even touch on it, but that's like being present. I mean, that's a lost art.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Right?
So
like,
important too.
Oh, huge. I mean, it brings so much more enjoyment out of life when you have to. I mean, I'm not a multitasker, nor do I want to be. I just like being present in whatever I'm doing at this moment, and the other things will take care of itself. When it's that time, it's that time. But I try to really stay in the moment, and that's one that's going to help. So I'm going to do some of that as well.
Yeah, try. And I'm working on dealing with my phone more maturely throughout the day, because it's so easy to get caught up, and
you don't even realize it. Right?
Exactly. You check it like 400 times in a day. Like, it's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's being conscious, right? At least step 1 is identify the issue. Step 2, make a plan. Step 3, be disciplined. Put it in play.
It's going to be hard for you, Steve, when you become a TikTok star. I mean, like, you're going to have to, you know what I mean? You're going to have to engage with your peeps, bro.
The people need me. Sorry, kids. You got to raise yourselves. So.
I'll get back to you tomorrow morning.
Go see mom. It's fine. I got a TikTok to make. All right, man. Great conversation. I appreciate you coming on, dude. I really appreciate your time. You brought a lot to the table, which is exactly what I expected with a guy with your background, with your experience, with your expertise. So I appreciate you, man.
No, listen, thanks for having me. I love what you're doing. I think it's an important subject, and keep doing it, bro.
Thanks, man. We're going to connect. So I want to learn how to throw a punch properly.
Okay. We'll make that happen.
All right, Syd. Have a good night, man.
All right. See you, Steven.
Appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website at www.menofbronze.ca. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and share the show with your friends and family. This was the Men of Bronze podcast. Be worth remembering.